Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey. Julie is a 40-year-old French woman living near Carcassonne, a hilltop World Heritage town in southwestern France, famous for its medieval watchtowers and fortifications. Well-educated, married, and the mother of a 2-year-old girl, some time ago, Julie took a temporary job as a cashier at the super-used supermarket in the nearby town of Trèbes. Now, let me introduce you to a gendarme, Colonel Arnaud Beltrame. Gendarmes are a military branch of the National Police Force in France. They are armed and charged with the maintenance of public order. Arnaud Beltrame, the gendarme, served his country well. Back in 2003, he joined the elite Special Forces unit of the National Gendarmerie, and in 2005 served in Iraq. Upon his return to France, he became a member of the Presidential Guard, earning the Order of Merit in 2012. Recently married and a regular churchgoer, Beltrame was known by family, friends, and associates as a man of faith. He was genuinely converted according to the priest of the church he regularly attended and served. Stationed in the southwest of France, 3 months ago, Beltrame led a counter-terrorism drill, arming the officers under his command with paintball guns to confront a make-believe hostage situation in a grocery store. "We want to be as close to real conditions as possible," he said. Real conditions soon became reality. On Friday, March the 23rd, 2018, Julie, the cashier, went to work at the supermarket as usual. But nothing else was as usual that day. Around 11 a.m., Redouane Lakdim, a 25-year-old French Moroccan, entered the super-used supermarket armed with a handgun, a hunting knife, and 3 homemade bombs. There were about 50 people in the store at the time. He shouted "Allahu Akbar" and declared that he was a soldier of Islamic State. He fatally shot 2 people and took others hostage, ordering everyone to lie down on the floor. In time, most of those in the supermarket managed to escape, while some hid in a meat locker. But the assailant grabbed Julie, the cashier, and held her captive, the barrel of the gun trembling on her neck. Hundreds of police quickly arrived, cordoned off the area, and helped to evacuate people. They found Lakdim holding several hostages, including Julie, whom he used as a human shield. At one point during the standoff, the assailant came out of the supermarket briefly, threatening to blow everything up. Police brought Lakdim's mother and 2 sisters to negotiate, but the initiative was unsuccessful. As Lakdim clung to poor Julie, Arnaud Beltrame, the gendarme in charge, ordered the assailant, "Release her, she didn't do anything," but to no avail. He then offered to take Julie's place, and surprisingly, Lakdim agreed. The gendarme then gave up his firearm, laid his cell phone on a table with the phone turned on so the police outside could listen in, stepped forward and took Julie's place. Julie, the cashier, was now free, while Beltrame, the gendarme, was at the mercy of the terrorist. Lakdim showed no mercy, however. After a 3-hour standoff, Beltrame tried to disarm him and shouted, "Assault! Assault!" to be heard through the phone. As a result, Lakdim shot Beltrame 3 or 4 times and finally stabbed him. A SWAT team immediately stormed the supermarket and killed the murderer. Father Jean-Baptiste, canon of Beltrame's church, attended him as he died. Said the priest, and I quote, "It seems to me that only his faith can explain the madness of this sacrifice, which is today the admiration of all. He knew, as Jesus told us, there is no greater love than giving one's life for one's friend. I believe that only a Christian faith, animated by charity, could ask for this superhuman sacrifice. On Wednesday, March 28, in Paris, France held a funeral ceremony for Arnaud Beltrame, the gendarme. It was held in the courtyard of Les Invalides, the military museum of the Army of France, where Napoleon Bonaparte is buried. By the flag-draped coffin, President Emmanuel Macron stood grim-faced as a band played the Marseillaise. He gave a speech making reference to Joan of Arc, members of the French resistance, and others who had died for the country. And he paid tribute to the officer who had given his life that someone else might live. Macron affirmed that the gendarme had the gratitude, admiration, and affection of the whole country. And in the crowd that day in Paris stood Julie, the cashier, and her husband. For me, she commented, Beltrame's sacrifice was personal. He gave his life for me to live. And she said it with considerable emotion. He gave his life for me to live. Now the application is obvious. Jesus gave his life to give us life eternal. The offer of life eternal and peace with God is made for all people as a gift. The benefit, though, is only enjoyed by those who receive the gift. Have we thanked him? Do our lives demonstrate our gratitude? If Jesus so died, how should we then live? And thank you for tuning in once again to Village Church Connections.